Some mornings, all I want to do is just lay in bed and rot. Taking the first step is always the hardest, especially when you can't seem to find the motivation. However, pulling yourself out of bed is also one of the most important things you can do for yourself. That's why I decided to make this video, because if you're struggling to find motivation, you're not alone, and I really want to give you a few tips that has helped me a lot. Sometimes setting yourself up for the day starts with simple steps. For me, getting ready and making myself feel good helps shift my mindset. I create a small sense of purpose that can set the tone for the rest of the day. Also, when I put on my makeup and do my hair, I feel like I have to get outside and do stuff, or else this would just have been a waste of time. After getting ready, I go to make my bed, and making the bed might seem trivial for some people, but it's these small acts that can help me feel more in control. It's a simple way to start off the day with a sense of accomplishment. And then I go to make some coffee or some tea and just really think about what I want to achieve for the day. It can be anything, really, but as long as I set simple goals, I'm more likely to be productive. I know myself pretty well by now, and I feel like this morning routine has really helped me to get my productivity up, and that has really been good for my mental health. The sun is shining, and I have my morning coffee, and I'm just ready for the day now. I feel like I'm missing something. All right. I woke up this morning and just didn't feel like doing anything at all. I think we all go through phases where everything feels like a huge effort and really overwhelming, and where even like the smallest tasks takes all our energy, and that's okay. What really matters is we're showing up for ourselves even in like the smallest ways, which is why I decided to get out of bed this morning and be as productive as I can be. I'm not here to tell you to do more, but to tell you that even doing the smallest thing, like making your bed or just getting out of bed, is progress. It's not about perfection or having everything figured out. It's about taking small steps and being kind to ourselves in the progress. Sometimes just getting out of bed or making yourself a cup of coffee in the morning is a good enough start, and then you just build from there. So today I decided to call my mom, and she's gonna pick me up, and I'm going to visit her and stay with her a few days up north. And I'm really looking forward to taking a breather and getting new inputs and inspiration, and I really think that will heal me in some sort of way. Yeah. At the moment, I find it really hard to find motivation as everything around me has changed since we moved back to Denmark. But when I feel stuck sometimes, the best thing I can do for myself is to step away from everything. Not focusing on the problem can be the way to get unstuck. It's okay not to always have a plan. I used to think that if I wasn't constantly working towards something, I was falling behind. But I've come to realize that your value isn't in what you're doing at any given moment. It's okay to just exist for a while, to take a break from trying to figure everything out. Sometimes we need to let go of the pressure to have everything mapped out and just allow ourselves some space to breathe. I've always been really interested in self-help, and lately I've been reading about mindfulness and awareness of the present. We spend so much time thinking about what's next or worrying about what we haven't done that we forget to be in this moment. Mindfulness has been a game changer for me, and I highly recommend exploring it if you haven't already. It gives you tools to handle the moments when you're feeling stuck or overwhelmed. It helps you understand that it's okay to slow down and just breathe. It's okay to be here right now without having to achieve anything. When I make these moments for myself, whether I'm reading about self help or just relaxing outdoors, I try not to get distracted by my phone, so I always put it away. I've learned how important it is to dedicate this time fully to myself, for me. Without the constant buzz of notifications, I can focus on what truly matters, which is giving my mind space to relax and recharge. Personally, sometimes the best way to find motivation for me is to spend time with family and friends. Not only does this offer a fresh perspective, but it can also be a great way to take your mind off of things. Conversations with loved ones can provide comfort and new insights that help shift your mindset. But you don't have to talk to them about how to find motivation or your current situation or struggles. Sometimes it's enough just to be around people that makes you happy. Spending time in nature can be incredibly grounding. As I walk through these forests up north in my hometown, I'm reminded of the simplicity and beauty around me that we sometimes take for granted. It's a chance to step away from the noise and pressures of daily life and reconnect with something more fundamental. Studies have actually shown that spending time in nature can improve mental clarity and reduce stress, which can then help with problem solving and overall well being. The fresh air and natural surroundings help clear my mind and bring a sense of calm. It's like giving your brain a much needed break, allowing you to return with a renewed perspective. For me, nature is about reconnecting with a simpler part of ourselves. Being surrounded by trees, open spaces, and fresh air helps ground me and brings clarity. Also, since my art and small business is inspired by nature, it's always nice to be surrounded by my muse, and I often get new ideas while going on these little walks among the trees. I've come to realize that it's not always about achieving something or performing, it's about allowing yourself to simply recharge. You have to reconnect with the part of yourself that gets lost in the noise of your everyday life. Even as a creator, sometimes it's enough just to be still. I guess I just wanted to remind you of that. You know, the thing about motivation is that it's not something you just find once and keep forever. It ebbs and flows like everything else. Some days you're full of energy and ready to take on the world, and other days, well, it's a struggle just to get through the basics. That's part of the process. I think that's where we forget. Life isn't a race to some finish line, it's more like a series of chapters. Sometimes things slow down and it feels like nothing is happening, but maybe those are the moments we need to reflect and recharge and reset. Society has a way of making us feel like we're always behind and not doing enough. I think that's why so many people feel burned out. We're taught that we have to be enough, not just for ourselves, but for everyone around us. And personally, I feel that pressure all the time, especially with building a business and trying to stay relevant across all social media platforms. But I've realized that when we stop trying to control every little thing, that's when the right things start to happen. I made this video because I wanted to inspire others to find their motivation and reconnect with themselves. But honestly, I think in the end, I made this video to inspire myself.